So this is my Mona Lisa, this video he's talking about.
He showed me
It's like deeply entrenched in my lore now. Like all my comments are like, so this video is this like Southern dude, I don't remember his name, but he's like, if you can own 10 rental homes before you're 30, you can have generational wealth. You can start flipping rental home and you're making passive income. That's how he talks, right? So the idea that like, to what you're talking about, that knee jerk 20 rental homes before I'm 30, like I can't even buy one fucking house. Like, what are you talking about? Is, again, I think most people are just like, they're check to check. You know, a lot of people are like victims of the gig economy. Like it's just really hard. And so when they see a video like that, it's like, well, yeah, I'd love to have 20 rental homes before I'm 30. And I think a reason that the video went, and this is to, not to like pat myself on the back, but to your point, what makes a clip viral is I think it's quick. It's you don't have a lot of time, right, to keep people's attention. So there's the trigger, which is the first 2 seconds, which is like him saying something ridiculous. If you can own 10 homes before you're 30, you're like, well, that's already crazy. What's this guy gonna say? Right. And then I said, that's it? Oh, that's all I got to do? You know? And it's like, people can't do that, right. Most people. But to your point, which is important, and I think where we hit it off, and I think why this combo would be interesting no matter what, you did it, or I don't know if it was before 30, but you got into real estate, and you can get into real estate. And I think, like, I don't want my message to be like, oh, like, I'll never get into real estate. Right. It's too expensive. It's just like the oversimplification of economic struggle that most people are saying, and just the I guess the privilege that it says for someone that age, you know, also. Right. It's like, bro, like I would have bought 10 homes before 30 if it was 1974, and homes were 80 grand in Michigan.
And you were still making 2024
and I was
income.
making, like, of course. Yeah. And I think it's, you know, and to your point, like I have my friend, it's funny, when you made your video, before I even saw it, one of my business partners and like good friends DM me, he's like, bro, Mikey Taylor just made a video to your, I'm like, Mikey Taylor, the skater? He's like, yeah. And then he sent it, and he's like, and he has 10 rental homes. Right. And he's like 31. So like, he did it, and you can do it, right? But he also like is breaded. And I think,
and I would look with the part, like, well, I don't disagree with what you're saying. Like, that's like the first and foremost. Like, it is not all good out there. I'm with you on that one, right? I guess and I think that's why it went viral, right? You touched on an emotion that people are feeling, right? My whole point is this, like, I lucked out in a sense and had somebody come into my life early and start even showing me what this world was, right? Yeah. Without that, no, I had no chance, right? And so I think, like, at least for me, it's like, okay, out of that percentage of people that could do it, how do you preach an optimistic message that might change one person's outlook? For sure. And then anybody beyond one, sick, right? But that's not like taking away from the reality of the situation.
And I really respect that. Right. And that is important, because it's like, you know, I'm just on the other side of that. Right. But I think, like, if you had me describe my show or message or whatever in one word, it's nuance.
100%.
And like, there's going to be a time, like, I'm not going to do this forever, like make fun of entrepreneur bros. I'm just not, it gets stale. Things get stale. And I think, like, you have to be able to, and that's why I put out other content too. Right. But in all my content, the one through line is nuance. And we live in a time where, like, algorithms have pulled us all the way here or all the way here. Not only politically, but like just in terms of like way of thinking. Right. And it's not really people's fault. You're being fed, like, you get into these cycles and these holes of content where if you're looking at like the negative side of it, like if you're in the overly negative, times are bad, capitalism's the worst thing that ever happened side of it, you're inherently going to become so cynical and just be like, well, I can fucking give up. Fuck this shit. Like, I'm moving to Vietnam. I'm out of here, you know? And then if on the other side of it, you get into the, like, maybe they'll watch a video from you And they're like, oh, yeah, tight. And then they just end up in the Luke Belmar side of it. And it's like, oh, my God, I'm a poor, broke fucking loser. I got to buy this. And where we get along and, like, where we align is that nuance of, like, we're just slightly on different sides of that spectrum.
Yeah, totally.
But you're selling real info and, like, something that somebody who has the means to do it should go do and should learn how to do and how to get into it. And, you know, off camera, I might need to tap in with you, my boy. I'm trying to get some real estate knowledge. Yeah. But, like, that's the kind of, like, those conversations are important. That kind of content is really important, you know?
Dude, what do you think about selling information, like, in general?
Like data?
No, like courses.
Oh, selling courses.
We don't do that, but it's just like...
We've gone down that path.
We talk about that all the time.
5 times. I think we've written 3 courses.
Yeah.
And every time we write it and then review it, we're like, it's good, but we don't feel comfortable putting a price on this information yet. And then we just end up rolling it out in the free format.
Yeah.
Because to your point earlier, they made this at the beginning, how many courses are out there that are very enticing because the people that are selling it are good at selling it. They buy the course and the information is garbage. Yeah. And we didn't want to fall victim to that because I think we built such a loyal base over the years that to put something out there that really was an incredible value add to everybody for a price point just didn't make sense. So, I mean, we did 3 courses that we ended up not putting out.
So let me ask you this, just outside looking in, like our business, like we make money by basically having investors come in to the real estate we're doing. And, you know, when we perform, there's a profit split. Yeah. So it's simple, to keep it as simple as possible. But even in that, like due to regulation, like we can only have accredited investors come in, which now you're talking about 1% of the population, right? And so that's just something like we talk about a lot. Like, should we have something that, you know, is some type of product or service for those who aren't in a position to invest with us yet, or is free content service that? You know,
it's tough because like the stigma of the course is where somebody like me, like if I didn't know you.
Gino's cooking us, bro. We're gonna launch our.
No. If I didn't know you and you had a course, I'm initially apprehensive. Now I'm like, oh.
Yeah, that's right.
And also subconsciously, what would start happening to you is you, as guys who sell, you have to start selling your course because you've monetized this, and now you're thinking, buy my course. So you're gonna just, and you may be able to fight back those demons, but they're gonna be there. And I think. Somebody who like a lot of people are like make a video on Gary V, right? But I fuck with Gary and I'm friends.
That's what I was gonna ask.
And I'm friends with Gary. I'm friends with Gary. What Gary preaches, and I think is so important, and really what he stands on, is like content, free, free. And you got to think like people. It is so hard to capture people's attention now. It's damn near impossible. And if you can capture people's attention. And you can give them something, you know, and just continue to give them something. They'll continue to come back. And once you put a price on it, I do think that, like, it changes the taste in people's mouth and in your fans' mouth. All of a sudden, and if things aren't going well and they're paying you and they aren't having, then they're kind of like off it. And then things just kind of start to, so I don't know, like, I don't think there's anything wrong with, like paying people to learn what you know, like I guess like, and again, like I've had people ask me for like songwriting courses. I should do a songwriting course. I should do like a master class. I think a product like master class where it's like a company and it's like, you're going to, you know what you're doing, like to go to a master class. You're
like
paying,
an actual curriculum by people that are qualified and
that make it and structure it. I don't know. I don't really have an answer.
It's a hard one, right? Because I do think there's value in it. Like,
for sure.
I do think considering that the person providing the information actually did what they said they did. And they're qualified and it's good. I think there's value there. Yeah. And like I would way rather pay for that information than go to school personally.
For sure.
Right?
Absolutely.
But then the challenge you have and the distaste in all of our mouths is half of these people are selling something they never did. Right? They buy one Airbnb and all of a sudden they teach you how to invest in Airbnb right? And so then you're like, okay, you just look at it as everybody being a fraud, even though not everyone is. That's a hard one. It's.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been talking about this for years.
Years. We've been talking literally.
There's probably a reason you haven't pulled the trigger.
Well, there is.
Yeah.
The distaste that you have in your mouth, like I still, that's the first thing I feel as well. If you like this clip, please subscribe to the channel. And if you want to watch the entire hour-long interview, the link will be in the description. And make sure you're following the Life with Mikey podcast on Spotify and Apple.